I seem to be the weatherman here in Green Bay, but they tried to paint an ugly picture for me about the weather here, and it was an unbelievably beautiful day out there today. So, and the wind was welcome because I think we're going to see a little bit in Buffalo. So it worked out pretty good. Any questions you may have?
I can't wait to talk to you when it's like minus 15 or we got 2 feet of snow.
Well,
you come up and give us that crap.
Talking to a guy who went to college in South Dakota, so I remember what it was like.
Is this place pretty comparable to Buffalo, weather-wise? I've not spent much time in Buffalo.
I think the one thing that's been surprising to me about here is it's windy every day. You know, we have a good gust coming one way or the other, and so that's actually good for a practice deal. And the times I've been in Buffalo, there always seems to be a little bit of a breeze. So we'll see what it's like when we get there, but we're expecting the worst as far as wind-wise goes. The rest you can usually deal with, but we'll see how it is when we get there. But today was a pretty good wind to catch the ball in.
Rich, I know you said you're not going to, all right, but how much patience do you have with him if he keeps having these balls?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of patience. We're all teachers, all right? We're teacher-based. And, one thing we can try to count on to some degree is the work, and never seen anybody getting better by doing less, and he's doing more, as well as the rest of us are. So thought he caught the ball well again today, and there's a lot of guys back there catching with him and in rotation, and he understands the ramifications of what happened and putting the ball on the ground, and so certainly not intentional, but we're going to lean on the work and respect the work that he's putting in and make better decisions. There's a lot that goes into it that I think we're still all trying to get a feel for each other. The decision that you make, where you are in the field, what situation are we in the game? Did I give a blitz call? Did we give a return call? Are we double out there? Are we singled on one side? So I think we're all still trying to learn a lot about each other. But I have a lot of confidence in his work right now.
With that said, he's put the ball on the ground twice the last 3 games.
Put the ball in 3 times so far this year, and we've lost 1.
And it hurts you, obviously,
Sure.
Sunday. At what point can you no longer afford to put him back there, considering he is having issues?
Again, I just feel like right now we're going to lean on the work, and we're excited about the work he put in today, he put in yesterday. Again, he knows what's at stake. Anytime that someone carries the ball, they're carrying the hopes and dreams of the entire team. Everyone from the center who snaps it to the long snapper who snaps it, at 14 or 15 yards deep, to the guys that catch it, guys that carry it, and now the guys that return it. So he understands the ramifications of when it doesn't go the way we'd like it to go. But again, we're going to lean on the work. Right now, he's still in the mix to be our punt returner. And I saw last week, I think him and Keyshawn were both back there, in a kickoff return mode. So along with PT. But that's kind of where we're at right now.
Rich, you know Dallin better than us. Was that completely in character for him to stand up in front of the room Sunday and deliver a little bit of a message? Is that
Completely. Yep.
What's the challenge for your guys this week? Obviously, I think Buffalo ranks pretty high on the Football Outsiders.
Yeah, if you're the #1 kickoff team in the National Football League, you're pretty high up. So they're a real confident unit. They can really run. They've got really good gunners on the outside, both of those players, and they got really good inside players that can run. They've played together for a while. That's some good young players playing. The punter's been in the league a good long time. He does a good job of getting the ball out. He can direct the ball or play with the wind or flop it or all those things. So it's a big challenge for us, but it's been a big challenge every week, and we've made some plays and we've put the ball on the ground some, and we've had a punt blocked, and so we've done some things that have hurt us as well. So we're looking forward to the challenge. It's been 2 good days of work.
Rich, back to Rodgers. What do you think the ultimate payoff is by sticking with him? What do you see in him as a returner?
Again, we have a young player who's done some good things and has done some negative things by putting the ball on the ground. But at this particular point, he's one of the best options we have to go back there and return punts. And, if I'm not mistaken, I thought we had a pretty good punt return on the re-kick, over there to put the ball in plus yardage, and we went down and got points off of that. So, again, it's going to be part of the decision-making process for him when he takes it, when he doesn't take it, what calls I make to put him in better position, and then he has to do a better job of getting his hands up, getting his eyes on the ball, and hanging on to it.
So, Rich, you talk about being a teacher. So how do you go about, and I'm not talking specifically about Amari, any player that has a mistake like that, how do you go about getting after him, and how do you go about keeping his confidence up? Because using Amari as an example, you weren't here last year, but you could see that his confidence was struggling at different points last season?
Yeah, and no disrespect to, last year or the question, or I'm really just, we're trying to do the best we can to go with what we see today, I thought Amari Rogers had a really good training camp. Thought he came in really good physical condition. I was probably harder on him, maybe than some of the other position coaches when he was back there, because I felt like he has some talent. I felt like he has some want to when he goes back there. He wants to change the game. He wants to make something happen. And I think that has to do with part of it of the muffs. I think you can see he was trying to take off before he actually had it caught. And so there's a lot of positives in Amari. He's got great work habits right now. He's been a good catch guy when he does it the right way, I think he sometimes gets a little too anxious to make a play before we secure the ball. And hopefully the work that he's put in this week will keep him going in the right direction.
Going back to Rob's question about Dallin, you've obviously had him for a while. So have you seen previous speeches? Is that something that he's done for you before? And what is it about him that allows
Yeah, I think Dallin, what he did was more of an emotional conversation to the guys that he has a great affection for, and I think that's kind of what he is or who he is. I don't really think he's at this point in his career, he's a speech giver. So I don't know if it was a speech as much as it was a reaction from his heart and from maybe some of the things he's been through to kind of help where we were at the time and where we'd like to go. I think that's kind of, anytime a player on our team or a coach or anyone that I've ever been a part of in my career speaks, I think they're talking to me. So I'll write it down, I'll make some notes, I'll make mental notes about what a player has said in front of the team or what a coach may have said or someone that's involved with our organization. If they speak to our team or they speak in that manner at that particular time, I think they're talking to me. I'm taking it like, he's talking to me, I better get my ducks in a row. And that's how I took that, and that's how I take when Mercedes speaks to the team, and that's how I take when D speaks to the team, and that's how I take when Aaron speaks to the team, and Coach LaFleur speaks to the team, and Joe Barry, and on and on and on. And I think if we all take that mentality, then we can all do a better job of doing what we're supposed to do when we're supposed to do it the way we're supposed to do it.
I asked you about Dallin a couple weeks ago, and you told that anecdote about the ref coming over. I've talked to Keyshawn a couple times in the locker room. Like, he starts conversations with me, which is really nice of him. But he's a different cat too. Do you have to be a different cat to be a really good special teams player, and do you have to be a different cat to be a really good special teams coach too?
I don't even know what the hell you just said. But,
That's not the first time that's happened to me.
I don't know if you're asking me to define those two personalities compared to my personality, or there's different streets for different feats. I just know that I have a great affection for both of those guys, and be careful with Keyshawn, because he'll take you out in the deep end and just hold your head under if you let him. So, yeah, that's the answer. I'll leave it at that.